Today I want to talk about how to properly socialize your dog at a dog park. Right there, even that phrase is a little tricky because we would never go inside of a dog park. It's uncontrolled. We do not know the other dogs in there. We don't know their temperaments. We don't know if there's any aggression, reactivity, and there's way too many unknown variables for us to put one of our dogs in a situation that we couldn't predict the outcome. Even when we socialize dogs at the dog house, we know the dogs, we've trained them, so it gives us a pretty good idea of if something were to go south. Number one, we can control it with our training, and number two, we would never put a dog in a situation where it could end up in like a bad fight or a dog having a not pleasant experience. So this is Atticus. Atticus came to us with some reactivity stuff, and how I like to work this is I will walk him up to the fence, and you guys are going to kind of see the steps of this. To me, this is the best socialization you can do for him. He's still on a leash, so he's still getting the picture as if he were on a leash. But the difference being is that this is controlled. Obviously, there's a fence in between us. And if he were to become reactive, I can give him the appropriate correction without having to pull him away, without having to have the other dog, however they're going to react, if they were going to continue to push him past his threshold, or if they were to be submissive. It's okay because it's all controlled. So how I like to start is I will take the dog right up to the fence and completely release him from any command. So, okay, Atticus, when I release him, I put him on my right-hand side. On the left-hand side, it means he's working. I'll let him come over to the fence, and at this point, I give no commands. I don't ask him to sit or down or do anything. He is free to sniff. He is free to engage in a dog if they come up to say hi. Hey. Hello. I'll talk to the other dogs through the fence too, just to show Atticus, like, I like dogs. I'm not trying to teach him from dogs. One thing I will not do is if he doesn't bark or react, I'm not going to tell him he's a good boy. By telling him he's a good boy, I'm actually giving him information as if reacting was an option. It's very simple. The rules are, if he does something I do not like, I mark it with no, and I would give him the appropriate correction. If he sniffs the dog, they have their little communication, the dog walks away, he just acts neutral, which is what my goal is. Again, I'm not going to say, oh good boy, you didn't bite and snap and react, because it's not an option. I'm just going to sit here and just act neutral myself. I can reward him, but when I reward him, it's going to be for actually doing something. So, for example, Atticus, sit. What a good sit, good boy. Okay, and then I release him back up, and he can sniff and say hi. We're going to go to the larger dog park. On my right side. This to me is the best socialization that you can do for your dog. I can sit here, I can check emails, text messages, make phone calls. Numerous dogs can run up to the fence, all different sizes, ages, breeds, and it is all done in a controlled fashion. He gets just as good a socialization interacting like this through the fence, even better than if I were to put him in there and then some unknown situations were to transpire. Hey. Hey. How are you? We need you. Whoopsie. I'm gonna let all the dogs out. Hey. How are you? And he's interested in the dog over here barking, so I'm gonna let him go see. Hi. What's going on? And notice he's not even concerned. He's just looking around. He's just enjoying just being out and about. It takes the pressure off of introducing him to dogs, which we never would introduce him to a strange dog on a leash. Some more dogs came over here, so let's look back over here.
Okay.
Atticus, come here.
We want to see what you're doing.
We're just making a video for. Hey! Hi there! Atticus, check this one out.
Now these have already been trained.
These dogs are in training.
They're very well behaved.
Oh, thank you. They're in our full service training.
Where are you located?
In Pinellas Park, St. Pete. I can give you the number when we finish with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, puppy. And the amount of time I stay here is going to be dependent on the dog. Like, he's already showing me by looking away and he's not really interested that we could already move on from here. But if I had a dog that was just still extremely focused or not settling down, like he went into a sit, he's facing the opposite direction. At this point, I mean, he really could care less that there's a bunch of dogs over there. If I had a dog that was still a little bit more intent or just kind of standing and watching with the ears forward, and every time a dog ran up, there was just kind of that moment, I would stay here for a longer amount of time until the dog shows me that they're disengaged.